Good morning, y'all. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I am Shante Ree, of course. And if it's your first time, make sure it's not your last time. I totally just messed up my intro, but it's okay. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff if you like the content. You know, if you're returning, welcome back. It's been a minute. I feel like I have just been feeling so uninspired. I don't know. However, since I was going to post since I am going to post a TikTok about my favorite nail products, kind of like a nail haul, I guess you could say, I was just like, I'm noticing an influx of just people who are interested in becoming full-time, full-blown official tissue nail techs. So why not speak on it? Yeah, if you're interested in, some of my experience, some of my input, some tips and good stuff like that, then stay tuned. I usually don't even wear hats, but we having a bad hair day, so we just gonna keep this on for the duration of the video until I get my hair done in a couple of days. Anyways, I am eating. I didn't want to call it a mukbang though. I was just real hungry and I wanted to talk to y'all at the same time. So yeah, I just got some breakfast sausage and then I got me a good banana, and then I'm trying these prebiotic sodas that I kept hearing about. So yeah, this is what I will be drinking while I'm talking to y'all. I'm kind of sort of going on a health journey, health kick type thing. So slowly but surely I'm making different little changes with my diet and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm getting off task already and y'all here for the nails. So let's get into it. Okay. Them sausages hitting. But first off, the bulk of the beginning of what I want to say has to do with going to nail school. While I'm not condoning anyone working on clients without a license, I have found girls and followed them on Instagram who do some fire work. This is what I want to say about the process of getting your license, aka nail school. I think a lot of people are under the impression that you're gonna go to nail school for all of however many weeks or however many months the programs near you are gonna have you go, and feel like I'm gonna come out busting down some crazy sets. I'm gonna come out being able to charge like, 100, 120 a set. I'm gonna know everything there is to know, and that is completely false. When I say that's false, I mean there was an immense amount of females that I talked to during the time that I worked independently in a suite. We all could agree that we did not learn how to properly or actually do nails enough to work on the public. We didn't learn that in school. School mostly focuses on sanitation. That is the main focus when you prepare to go to state board and get your license. They want to make sure you know how to sanitize and disinfect your tools. They want to make sure that you know when you need to throw things away, what you need to be cleaning in between clients and stuff like that. A school mainly focuses on sanitation. Yes, you will practice on live clients. You did have to practice on each other. And let me just give a small disclaimer. I got my license in the state of North Carolina back in 2016. So it may be some things that have changed. Not too sure about, the current status of everything. But back when I had finished school and got my license, school was mainly focused on sanitation. When you prepare for state board, you are preparing to be doing a lot of sanitizing, mock disinfecting, blood exposure procedures, like what are you supposed to do if you cut a client and they start bleeding out type stuff. The actual focusing on what you probably want to be doing when you're doing nails, they're not really focused on that. You're doing not sets, well, I guess you could say sets on a fake hand, which of course will not give you the same results as a live client. I can say though, when I went to state board, it was not nearly as intimidating as I thought it would be. They didn't want me to be great. They kept saying I was running out of storage. Anyways, I was saying that it's not nearly as intimidating as I thought it was going to be. It was 12 of us, and then there was 2 people. So one person basically stayed in one area, I mean, she kind of walked around, but she was reading the directions and the prompts. And then the other person stood there and would occasionally walk around as she told us to do different things. I don't know why I was under the impression that the whole time, like, each of us was going to have one assigned person that would be like breathing down our necks, but it was not like that at all. It was like very chill, actually. So if you're nervous about going to state board, as long as you know what you know, you shouldn't be. Due to the fact that TikTok is around now, I do think you have more of an advantage, whereas when I was just starting, I did not feel that way. Like, I'm not a very popular person. I did not feel like I had a lot of family and friends to work on. I had a few friends that I could work on, but I basically did have to build my clientele from the bottom. So I think it was a little harder back then. Now you got TikTok and all type of, resources online. Now for the ones in the back who love to go and get a certificate, I'm all for that. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. A lot of these people you're paying for certificates, a lot of them, number one, aren't even certified themselves. You need to leave. Number two, I just wanted to be clear that getting a certificate from some person that you've seen on Instagram that seems good at what they do does not certify you in your state to go and work on live clients. I don't care if it's nails, lashes, hair, whatever. Go to a board certified school and get licensed to consider yourself official. Going to a class is cool. All of that is cool. It still does not certify you officially to work on live clients. I do know people who work from home who, aren't certified yet. Get your coins. But I'm saying, if you want to actually go into someone's establishment and expect for them to take you seriously, then absolutely take the time to go and get schooling, take your tests, and get everything you need to get so that you can be official, and it'll be no issues and no holdups with making your money. As for me personally, I did unfollow a lot of nail pages. I'm not gonna lie. If you know me, then you already know the story. Around 2019, I pretty much kind of lost the passion. And I know I did have my second daughter, my last daughter. I just became kind of uninterested. Like, I will always love the actual art and the actual doing of the nails. So it can be very stressful being a service provider. I don't have any crazy story times or times I was about to fight a client or anything like that, but it's still, I had my moments where I was very overwhelmed and very stressed. Having kids on top of dealing with just people, I personally felt like that was not for me. I'm more so on the residual income side, but I'm always going to love to see a good set. Like, I will always love to see some fire nails, period. And I still am my own nail tech, so 6T. I do think there are some great opportunities out there as far as doing nails. I have worked in a small family-owned salon as my very first job, and then I did booth rent, and then I also did independent. I had my suite, so I was independent, and then I also did independent from home. I will say you need to be very, very up to date with what their terms are in your state, because here in North Carolina, state board was very, very, very on it, just with having a filtration system, because most people did work with acrylic. I know they have Gel X and stuff like that now that's more popular, but at the time, more people were definitely on the acrylic. They require some type of, system for the fumes to do what they need to do. When I got my suite, I did have to make sure I was going by regulations. So don't jump into it, getting yourself all hype and buying all this stuff and having people ready to help you move into your space or whatever if you don't even know your state regulations, because they are going to come in there and be like, no, you cannot operate until you put you a sink in here outside of the bathroom, until you get you a filtration system for the acrylic fumes. Like, they were. And let me just say this. I low-key feel like State Board cannot wait to catch people slipping. I do have a little story time. One day I was doing somebody's nails. I was in my suite at this time. I kind of miss my suite because I love the atmosphere. Rent was dirt cheap. So I was seeing some decent money. It was $275 a month, and it was a nice little room that I was in. Basically, State Board comes in one day because they would make their rounds and just pop up randomly, and I'm doing nails. And I just feel like this was so petty of them. Like, literally so petty. Like, my stuff was on point. I still have my thing from the last time that I received a grade from State Board. I got a 99 rating instead of a 100. I need to dust it off. I received a 99 because I was in the middle of doing a client now, and she said dust was on the table.
What do you mean by that?
She took a point off my grade for dust, nail dust, that had freshly got on there as I was sitting there doing a client. State Board comes in, you need to make sure that there are no files laying out that looks used, because you're supposed to be throwing them out between each client. Sanding bands on your drill bits do not look used if you're not currently working on a person. You need to make sure that you don't have any trace of dust on your table as long as you are not working with a person. You also need to make sure that you have a container that specifies that you have dirty implements in them, because if you just have stuff laying out or sitting in drawers and stuff and they look at it and it looks dirty, you're definitely getting points off for that. Like, any little thing, they ready to take some points, okay? Like, it almost was giving, we are waiting to catch you slipping. And that's with anybody. Please don't be out here inviting your people to get serviced by you, and you know that them people using MMA acrylic. Like, that stuff is really not good for you. And it's dirt cheap for a reason, because it does not belong on nails. I used to wonder why the salon would like hide the acrylic in the back. That's so they didn't get caught slipping when State Board would come. So we just gonna pull it out when we need it, and then we're gonna run to the back and hide it. That was definitely what a lot of salons were on. And once I realized that that was going on, I did not invite people to come and get their stuff done until I started bringing my own acrylic that I was paying for, that was, what I was supposed to be using on nails, that was healthy. So let me just say that as well. Please don't just be one of them techs that only care about how the nails look. Let's make sure we're taking care of people's nail health as well. Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but salons do a lot of things that they shouldn't do. So being that I'm a nail tech, I'm not picky, but I am picky in certain ways. Like, when I get my feet done, I always ask them, like, hey, can you use a new pumice stone? And they'll say a new one, and I'm like, yes, one that's been unopened that you're about to scrub my feet with. Can I have a new one, please? Thank you. The nail tech that does my feet now, she ended up asking, like, are you a nail tech? Like, sometimes they'll get scared, like, is this State Board or what? No, I'm not State Board. I just know what I know. So I was like, yeah, I just prefer a new one, because in reality, you cannot clean a pumice stone like that. The material doesn't allow anything to penetrate inside to really sterilize or clean it. Therefore, y'all should be throwing it away, but you using it on the next person and the next person. So what I'm gonna need you to do is get me a whole new one out the package. Thank you. I also want to talk about this whole acrylic on toes thing. I think it's cute as long as you do it right and you don't do it super thick. I know when I was at my first salon job, it was somebody who would faithfully get that full set with the tips on her toes like every couple weeks. I don't think it's ideal to get tips in a full set. Like, it's different to just do an overlay on top of your natural nails with the acrylic, but it's something about the tips that just don't sit right. Like, I feel like it was not lasting because the people who were getting it were almost coming every week to get a new set on their toes. So if you're gonna do it, I feel like an acrylic overlay without the tips on the toes will do. I went off the dome instead of writing stuff down like I usually do. Hopefully I didn't forget anything that I wanted to say. Go get your coins if you want to become a nail tech. I'm not gonna lie, when I had first told somebody in my family that I wanted to do nails, they completely shot my little dreams down. Like, oh, I've been there in the beauty industry, I did that before, and it's no money in that, da, da, da. Mind you, this person I think was like trying to be a hairstylist and didn't even take it seriously at that, so I wasn't trying to hear none of that. Like, this had been a passion. I was really good at nail art for years, so I'm like, I might as well be a full-time nail tech and just get the whole, get the whole thing going. And it was like, oh, why do you want to do that? It's crazy because years down the line, I went to nail school, got that license, built my clientele, and that was some of the best money I had ever made in my life. Like, what? Booth rent is nothing but $275 a month. I make that at the beginning of the week. Like, I'm already there. Booth rent is paid at the beginning of 1 week, and then I still have a whole nother 3 weeks until the month is over. I mean, even if you are starting at $40-$45 for a full set, $25-$30 for a fill-in, like, that's not bad money. Basically, as a nail tech, you are essentially making over $25 per hour because you would charge for your time, like, by the hour. So yeah, unless you have a natural nail service like just a manicure or something, but other than that, like, absolutely, the girls in the service industry are getting to the bag for sure. Also, after I had my daughter, my body was just not cooperating if I did really try to get back into it. Like, after a couple of people back to back, my back is on fire, it's hurting, and my hand would kind of get carpal tunnel as well. So just make sure that when you're like using your e-file and stuff, you're not holding it tight. I noticed that I tend to hold my stuff very tight, and that's probably what contributed to my hand hurting so much when I was trying to service people. So, I kind of just gave it up. I do miss it sometimes. It is what it is. Still love me a good set. Make sure you follow me on my socials because I do occasionally still post nail content, and make sure you check the description box for my Amazon storefront because the stuff that I still currently use, on a few people here and there and myself, I have it listed in my storefront. And yeah, if y'all want any more nail videos, let me know. Thank you for tuning in. I am out because I'm just all chatty today and I don't want to keep y'all for a long time.